People look at my career today and they see the goals, the trophies, the records. They see the finished story, but they don't know how close I came to not writing it at all. I was 13, and I almost gave up football. Not because I didn't love it, but because life started asking me to give up everything else I loved to keep playing. And for a moment, I didn't know if I could. I was a quiet kid, really quiet, small for my age, always the shortest on the pitch. But with the ball at my feet, I felt tall. Football wasn't just a game. It was where I found my voice. I played in the streets of Rosario, Argentina. My brothers, my cousins, the neighborhood kids, they all knew I didn't talk much. But when I played, they listened. And the one person who always believed in me was my grandma. She would walk me to training, sit on the sidelines, clap louder than anyone else. Even when I missed, even when I failed. She'd say, "Give the ball to Leo." Even when I was 5, even when I was the smallest one out there. She saw something in me before the world ever did. I still remember the day she passed. I was only 10, and everything suddenly felt quiet. Football felt different after that. Like part of my joy had gone missing. I point to the sky when I score, because that's still who I play for. Her. Around that same time, I started noticing something. The other kids were growing. I wasn't. I'd stand on tiptoes for team photos. My knees hurt. My bones ached. Doctors told my parents, growth hormone deficiency. I didn't understand what that meant, but I knew the medicine was expensive. Injections every day. My parents working longer hours. At night, I'd stare at the ceiling, wondering if it was all worth it. Would I ever be tall enough to play at the top level? Would I ever even get the chance? One day we got a call. A trial in Spain, FC Barcelona. They said they'd watch me train. See if I was worth the risk. We packed bags we couldn't afford. Said goodbye to everything we knew. And boarded a flight that could change everything. I was 13. I didn't speak Spanish the way they did in Spain. I didn't know anyone. I didn't even know how to ask where the bathroom was. But I played, and they saw enough to believe. They handed us a paper napkin contract, literally a deal scribbled on a serviette, and said, "We'll cover his treatment. We'll bring him into La Masia." That napkin saved my life. But what they don't tell you about chasing a dream, Ładoszka, is that it's lonely. Really lonely. I cried at night. I missed my mother's cooking. The sound of my dad's voice, the warmth of Rosario. I missed being understood. The other kids were nice, but I felt like a ghost in the locker room. Sometimes I ask myself, is this dream really worth all this? And once, just once, I almost told my dad I wanted to come home. But I didn't, because I knew if I quit now, it would all be for nothing. One evening I sat alone at La Masia, watching the sunset over the training field. I had just finished another round of injections. My legs were sore. And I thought about my grandma. How she would have told me to be strong. How she would have reminded me. The world doesn't see what you see yet, but they will. That night, I made a promise. If I was going to fail, I would do it trying, all the way, every sprint, every touch. No halfway. That's when something shifted in me. The years passed. The injections worked. My body grew, but my mindset grew faster. I started dominating training sessions. Coaches took notice. Scouts whispered. And then, at 17, I made my debut. The youngest Barcelona player in history at the time. The quiet kid from Rosario. Now walking onto the Camp Nou pitch. And the rest? Well, you already know. I've lifted every trophy I ever dreamed of. But the journey, it came with a price. There are family dinners I missed, birthdays I didn't celebrate. I lived in hotels more than homes. Trained more than I slept. Sometimes I wonder, what if I had quit at 13? Would my life have been simpler? Happier? Maybe. But I would have always wondered, what if? So here's what I want you to take from this. Everyone thinks champions are born, but sometimes they're just kids who didn't quit, even when everything told them to, even when the pain screamed louder than the dream. If you're in that place or that moment where it all feels too heavy, I've been there. And I swear to you, what's on the other side of that pain? It's beautiful. Not because it's easy, but because you earned it. So now I ask you, have you ever almost walked away from something you loved? What stopped you? Or maybe you did walk away, and it still haunts you. Tell me in the comments, because I don't just want to be a name on your screen. I want to hear your story too.